Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another scene for a new serum where Renee is in a car. It is not her car. In fact, she's gonna have to go back and get her car eventually. She's perhaps realizing, no, she's not. Not yet. She's still half panicked because things have happened. People have disappeared. People have frenzied. People have reappeared. People have had creepy all black eyes. She's pretty sure there were shadow tentacles. Doors flew off hinges. Nothing's okay. Uh, but look on the bright side. She is no longer in the place where the bad things are. She's in this car, this very nice red car, with Dr. Delarose, which is obviously the safest place to be. What could be safer? Pause.
You realize Dr. Delarose is no longer driving the car and the driver's seat is open. No,
No,
he
sir.
doesn't seem anywhere near as perhaps anxious as as Renee is. In fact, he's driving along, not really saying anything, but doesn't seem upset or any. Generally, just seems like he's driving. The radio's off and sort of passing street lights illuminate his face.
Well, she's not clinging to the oh shit handle, as it is so fondly dubbed. She is, however, holding tightly onto the handle of the door, and God help her, has her seatbelt on, and is anxiously glancing aside now and again, perhaps not as reassured by his outward calm as she should be. Do you think she's okay? She did the thing again in the black eyes, and then I was outside.
Would you like some music?
Uh,
I think some music will do us fine. He sort of hits
okay.
it smooth, some smooth music playing. I'm not quite sure. Some jazz, let's say jazz, sort of picks up. Seems an old radio station. And unless Renee is particularly into jazz.
I mean, jazz is nice. She can dig
Well,
some
okay, she
jazz.
probably wouldn't know the artist, but
No,
yeah,
probably not.
just some Rita Ray playing through. And he sort of settles back in the seat. Turning on the sort of turning lights as he sort of drifts. You weren't hurt, were you? Physically, I mean.
Me? No. No,
Good,
I
good.
just kind of freaked out. Like, that stuff's not normal, right?
So he chuckles. Well, Renee, undead, blood drinking vampire, define normal.
I mean, there were shadow tentacles. That seems not normal, even in most really badly written vampire novels.
Life's stranger than fiction, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. She kind of side glances again.
I'm glad you made it out all right.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not sure how that happened. I think
and
Tootie
the
did.
others. Oh well, Tootie has your best interests at heart.
Yeah. The others. Toulouse was like his face went all hairy, and he threw himself at the guy, the one that they called the God Killer. And Verity just kind of kicked me out. I'm pretty sure she started fighting him too.
Are you worried about them?
Oh, yeah?
I'm sure they'll be fine. If Tootie was there.
I hope so.
And speaking of the devil, I think we're just About here, he says as he pulls up in the little finger, one of the smaller streets, as Renee will see what is it, a southern-looking mansion, very strangely placed in between the buildings, just appear.
Kind of blinks.
Home sweet home.
Wow.
Pulls the car up into the driveway. It looks, and I'm guessing the lights will be on.
Yep, lights are on. You can actually hear the loud thumping techno music coming from the house, actually. Actually, I'll put the song in the description as well. There you go.
He smiles, and under his breath, as he gets out of the car, just mumbles, "It's true. All lost children find their way back to mother." As he gets the door for Renee. "Please."
She kind of like doesn't comment on the strange line per se, because everyone says strange things. And is maybe mildly flustered by having the door open for her, but nonetheless will go ahead and hop up out of the car, kind of patting herself down, realizing she is in fact all still there, still has her phone, still has both shoes. Pretty good, I guess.
Delaware gives you a smile, very much like the one in this picture, and then gestures for you to sort of follow him as he walks up to the front door. The music obviously getting louder. Now, I would ask you just stay considerate. It's been a trying night for Tootie as well. I can only guess what she will be like. But she'll be very happy to see that you're safe and in one piece.
Okay. Yeah, there's a quick nod of understanding. She doesn't seem to have any hesitation when she's kind of gestured to follow, and kind of doing so right alongside his shoulder, fairly close. She doesn't seem leery at all. Not like clinging close. Well, maybe just a little. He is, after all, now a designated safe person.
Delarus slides the door open and sort of goes in. "Honey, I'm home."
Amidst the various loud techno trip hop music, Delarusso first spot Tootie, her long black hair lying down. There's bits of blood on the back of her collar, assuming from where she had previously ripped it all out. Her jacket is lying down. She seems to be in her jeans, long baggy t-shirt. She just seems to be closing her eyes, almost just closing her eyes and bobbing from head to head, side to side.
Delarus gets started immediately on picking up any loose article of clothing and sort of putting it in its right place. Coat hangers and all. "Please, Renee, make yourself at home."
And she'll give a light nod. And honestly, all things considered, I imagine the place is kept fairly immaculate.
Mm-hmm.
It
So
smells pretty heavily of various cleaning sort of fluids, bleach, and some more pleasant smelling lemon scented.
But everything seems quite open. Everything seems to almost capture your attention, as almost just seems to fixate on you. It seems like when you step into the room, it seems to surround you almost. Like this room is designed to be about whatever person steps in. You notice all the colors and everything. It seems just very grandiose.
Yeah, she will, in fact, probably go so far as to leave her shoes by the door, just because, well, Belarus does seem to have a thing for cleanliness, and she don't want to track things in.
Not that you'll see, but he does give a sort of appreciative nod when. Well, it depends on if you're looking at him when you take your shoes off. He does sort of nod appreciative.
Probably not.
And he will move up to Dina and sort of. Did you said she was sitting down?
Yeah, she's
Or
sitting down, cross-legged, in the center of the room, in the sitting room, and like imagery-wise, it looks like everything is just focused in on her almost, as the music seems to just bounce and ripple off the walls.
so he gets up to her behind her and then leans down in basically the Slav squat, putting both his hands on her shoulder and sort of leans in and whispers, unless so Renee won't hear, although she can attempt if she wants to. So just leans in. I brought the child with me.
Her eyes at the point as Daros is here closes. She's obviously just, and the eyes just snap open. You know, her big blue eyes just stare at you. The head slowly turns. You know, and when she sees Renee, much like the smile she has in that picture emerges.
Yeah, she is probably hovering awkwardly in the doorway as Delarus goes to engage because she's been told to behave. But yeah, when the eyes snap open, there's just a bright, relieved smile. Oh, you're okay.
Judy will stand up and like extend her arms. You know, that kind of the hug motion.
Oh yeah, she doesn't need a more than that. She'll actually like dart in and hug around her in pure relief.
Of course I was. I just, well, she'll smile. Things got so loud that sometimes you just have to let go for a while.
I mean, you seemed really upset and things got really crazy.
She'll nod. But you're okay. She'll smile and like touch again Renee's cheek with her palm, much like actually the woman what Judy did originally. That same very soft touch.
She quirks a side grin. Yeah, I'm fine. First I got was hauled around a little. Finally just gives a light shrug.
Would you like something to drink, Renee?
She kind of blinks. Oh, I can't.
Yeah. Well, appearances can be nice.
She kind of shrugs. I mean, if it'll make you feel better.
It's always nice to fuss over somebody, and I do like pouring drinks. What will you have?
Uh, whatever you enjoy pouring the most.
He sort of gives a sly look over to Daniel. Seems an opportunity for wine, wouldn't you say, Tootie?
She'll nod her head.
Perfect. He sort of heads into the open kitchen. You hear glass and all that jazz.
While Toulouse and your friend, they were all right in the end.
They were.
She'll nod her head.
Oh, good.
Sometimes we can dream of things so vividly, as if they weren't even real. But then they seem so real, don't they?
Browsing it a bit. I mean, I guess that was some straight up Matrix orgy scene stuff, but
That man is just smirk and look over at Renee. Someone you need to avoid. He hurts children. She'll interlock her hands with Renee.
she doesn't mind at all. She'll catch the hand. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. He didn't seem especially nice.
Belarus comes back. 2 wine glasses and I believe a scotch. Is it not, Torna?
Yep.
Yeah, scotch on the rocks. Far worse things out there than what you think, than what you can dream of. As he gives his one of the wine glasses over to Renee.
She'll look over at Delarus and smile. You're safe too?
When am I not?
You had me worried.
He actually gets a pretty soft look on his eyes and his face when she says that, and he, in a way, which is funny considering he wasn't there, mimics the same gesture that Tootie just did for Renee, sort of his finger across Tootie's cheek.
And she curls into it. Renee see it. It's very affectionate. Like she just curls into it very softly, closing her eyes.
Well, I didn't mean to.
She'll turn and look and smile at Renee. Well, that was quite the night out.
Yeah, Renee has accepted the glass politely, and as the two get like coupley, is like, oh, I should at least get a nose full of this because I can't drink it, but I can appreciate that and not intrude on the moment. So she glances up and kind of helplessly shrugs. And that was, oh, it was weird. It was really weird.
Well, we learned a few things, at least. Some very interesting things.
I learned so many things. I don't know what any of them are. It's great.
She'll smile and tap Renee's hand. Things like this often do, so don't need to be worried. The Emerald Scorpion is a place that I like, but I avoid it.
Yeah, I don't see myself going there again ever, pretty much.
Good. It's better that you're safe. She said quite seriously.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, especially if that guy's there. She kind of like reaches up with her free hand, combs back a bit of her hair, and kind of like rubs at her brow for a second, like as if making sure it's there and the shape it's meant to be almost.
She twists her head and smile.
Such a shame when the devil gets into a good house.
But it is clearly whatever murdered Dylan is there.
Did we find out though why he was
Shake her
murdered?
head. It seems to me that how he was murdered, it was clearly shown.
Should have looked to see if one of the swords was chipped. She's by the way, like, and Delarus might recognize the gesture, kind of exploring along her hairline back towards her temple with her fingers, like just kind of gently probing and poking around as if investigating for sore spots or bruises, like one might do. Like it's definitely kind of a practiced medical motion, looking for injury almost.
He notices this and sort of puts his wine glass down and steps sort of closer to her. Would you mind? As he sort of puts his hands up, not touching her face, but sort of up over her temples.
She shrugs and drops her hand. No, go ahead. There was just... It was weird.
He sort of checks her over. I'm guessing she doesn't have any.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
What happened?
It was kind of like he shoved his hand in my head. And just rifled around.
Should take Renee's hands. Some of us can do funny things to the mind. Some of us are capable of doing horrific things to the mind.
Indeed.
Awesome.
Tell me, how do you feel now? No pain or discomfort?
There's a light head shake. No, I'm fine.
Good. He sort of pulls his hands away.
I don't feel like I should be, but I'm fine.
Shouldn't be permanent, should it, Judy?
She shake her head. I don't believe so.
So, what else did you find out?
Dylan has a lot of theories. Very similar to Sly's Malone theory. Look over and smile at Delarose.
And a very wicked grin was on his face.
She'd look over to Renee, who probably looks like a but.
She's obviously not following. Like, she's trying to politely listen, but not following.
Sly Malone once came to me and told me that someone had murdered my sire. Said that it was my own people who did it. Dylan seemed to think the same thing. However, these people have no real proof of such a thing, while a Sabbat pack banner was found there among the wreckage of Frankie's place.
Then why would he think it was your own people?
Because it's easier to blame the Malkavians for what you hate and then try to understand. It's easy when jealousy takes over.
But shouldn't they hate the Sabbat more anyways? Aren't they like the quintessential bad guys?
Sly Malone had prejudices, as his sire did.
It seemed Dylan shared those prejudices.
They never ever take a second to think, do they?
It's funny. They go on about not being able to listen, but they never look, do they?
Easier to shout than to understand. But Sly Malone isn't an issue. I doubt he ever really was. Just an angry, sad little man.
No.
Then why does Verity want to take him up?
Because she wants to ask questions that will inevitably get her nowhere. Much like Val Jones, you'll meet her soon, loudmouth. She is. She likes to poke and prod and push things. Push people. In fact, I believe when Frankie died, Val Jones promised me the world and to take care of me yet. So look over to Delarose. Val Jones never came to see me at all. In fact, Val Jones didn't care. Verdi is much like that.
I had buried so deep in work and ideas. I forget how often you dream yourself in a corner. But dreams are important, are they not? They tell us when we're awake, just some people rather stay dreaming than to wake up. He sighs sadly before resuming sipping his wine. Too much of a good thing.
Just smile at Renee. Sometimes people like to blame something else they don't understand before they actually look at the fact.
Seems kind of ignorant.
It is. And you'd be surprised how many do it. But it doesn't matter, really.
Let's see why. You guys have been really nice.
Of course. Why wouldn't we be nice to a child that needs help?
She pulls a little bit of a face. Just because, being told in your 20s that you're a child it's a thing. Doesn't look truly annoyed, just kind of like but really though?
Think about it this way. She'll trace her fingers along Renee's. Does Daisy spend as much time with you as myself or Dr. Delarus try to?
No. I mean, apparently that's not a thing. She said she was already kind of catching shit for babying me a bunch.
I see.
I found it funny when sires baby what they've killed. Certain morbidity, don't you think? Coddling the corpse that you thrust on the world.
Gets a slightly less. Again, she kind of pulls a face.
Never seemed
Like,
right.
not straight stricken, but halfway there. Because that is a very, very true but very harsh way of putting it.
Judy, when she sees Renee look so stricken, will interlock her hands again, giving her a very reassuring smile. It doesn't matter now.
Guess not.
That's why you find people who can help. It's when you find, and when you come alive again.
It's kind of a helpless shrug. She told me to make friends.
It's not about making friends. She'll again reach one of her hands and touch one of Renee's stray locks and just tuck it very neatly, placing it almost very perfectly down back on her shoulder. It's about rebuilding the pieces.
And for what it's worth, as much as Renee probably should look kind of unnerved by the close attention, especially after this last bit of antics, she just doesn't seem to mind Tootie playing with her hair, taking her hand, touching her face. She just kind of accepts it. Maternal overtones and all.
Once you're made, you shatter to pieces. You come apart. Because they've killed you. And who you are in this world is about how you repair the pieces all again and again. If you can reform the pieces, then you've achieved it, haven't you? Life. Or some semblance of what it used to be.
She kind of shrugs sheepishly, brings a hand up to the back of her head, rifling through her hair. I didn't have much of a life to start with. Just doing the same thing I was doing before, except now crazier things happen. I mean, I don't feel shattered? She kind of glances between them.
What did you feel when you were there, seeing all these things totally out of your control? How does it make you feel?
I mean, I was scared shitless. Especially when you disappeared.
Did it
Like
make
that.
you feel?
That was it. That was the last straw. I was done. I was ready to go. Well, I mean, except I couldn't because I didn't know where you were.
You had no control anymore.
I mean, I don't feel like I have control over a lot of things. I don't.
Judy's smile just widens and widens.
You'd be surprised.
Gives another helpless shrug.
I find fear nowadays to be very strange. Don't you agree, Renee? Well, why do you think people are afraid?
I mean, usually because they think they're gonna die or be hurt.
Indeed. But you already died. Massive duty, massive eye.
Well, yeah, but I can still be hurt. And I can still be, like, killed.
We already know that death isn't the end. We already have proof of that in pain. Pain is just there to scare us away from death. And that's no longer really a factor.
I mean, you say that, but I feel like turning into a pile of dust is pretty final.
They said the same thing about chess.
Who?
Yet he's up and about.
I mean, doesn't that just mean he kind of faked his own death or something?
Did he?
I don't know. I don't even know who he is.
It's all just an old dream. Old instincts, old habits and tics.
I mean, I feel like a survival instinct is a good thing.
Oh, it is. She'll say, smiling. The only day you don't ever feel exactly the same is the day you die.
Right.
You've died. You've died already. But things don't quite feel the same, do they? You remember everything you do, your past. Even probably parts of you can tell the future already. But it doesn't quite feel the same anymore, does it?
I mean, I'm kind of dead. I don't expect it to feel the same.
Exactly.
Are you? But are you dead?
I mean, medically, yes. Pretty dead.
But you still are here, and you still feel the memories of it, at least.
I feel like I feel things. She's still glancing between them, like she's obviously like struggling to keep afloat on this one.
If anything, you should feel more alive. Because, yes, if you go out into the sun, you will die. Or return to ash. If you do, well, if something rips you to pieces, you will return to ash, but that all is left when we are the very contradiction of the finality of death. Things have never going to be the same again, Renee. Because you've died already, and now it is your chance to be. Just put both her hands on her face, truly alive, truly free. Because you've seen.
Yes.
I don't know what you expect me to do that's more alive than what I was doing before.
You'll hear all the things that never got the chance that you've gotten. Scream and cry and shout for you. You hear them all. All the souls that never got the chance you got. And they'll never have it again. So why not take it for yourself and live?
I feel like this is a really, really ironic YOLO.
Just smile. When you realize all the death and all the hopelessness and all of the screams of thousands of children who never got the chance, who will now become nothing. We are still here. We are still broken. But just building the pieces does change your perspective on things.
I mean, I was gonna settle for finishing getting the nursing degree and kind of glanced over to Delarus and working. What else do you do? If you just do crazy things, you die.
You don't seem like the person who did crazy things before, did you?
No?
And yet you died. Life, as he sort of gets up and moves over to the stereo, life is so finite. Death, on the other hand, is infinite.
Would you
And
like?
we are dead, as
Would
he
you like?
sets the song on.
He'll smile and touch Renee's hand. Would you like to actually feed and feel what it's like?
And the eyes kind of drop for half a second. I mean, you seem pretty insistent about it, and I mean, I've done it. I just didn't know any better.
But now you have us. You have me.
Yeah.
She'll look over at Delarus with a smile. I think it's time we took her for a drive.
I think that sounds like a wonderful idea.
Go to that hipster bar you love so much, the Nuclear. It's easy to pick up people there.
Not much too easy.
She'll look over at Renee and smile. Would you like to go?
And I mean, there's a certain amount of anticipation there, especially between the two of them. And she kind of glances between them, reads the room, and obviously just kind of gives up with the following shrug. I guess now's as good a time as any.
Just stand up. Immediately walk over and put on some clothes, proper clothes.
As Two just Theodore just sort of slides up to Renee. You know, sometimes in our line of profession, you have tough choices to make, don't you?
Yeah?
Sometimes the only choices you have are bad ones, confusing, strange. I had a boy during the riots, no older than 4. A lost cause, really. Most of his blood. He wasn't long for this world, let's just say. We didn't have any anesthesia to go around, and he didn't have enough blood to pump it around. Now I could either sit back, do nothing, let nature take its course, and nobody would have said a thing, like I said, in a lost cause. Or I could have risked it. Done a procedure with a 90% chance of killing him. 95%, let's be honest. Most likely I would have actively killed him, wouldn't I? Jammed a needle down into his heart, ruptured the whole thing.
A 5% chance is better than a 0% one.
It is. Even in bad choices, Renee, there's the lesser of two evils. Even drinking from the mortals, the kind, the people, doesn't mean you have to hurt the innocent just because you have to hurt someone.
Don't have to hurt anyone. The bags work. They just taste awful. And that's the 0% chance of hurting someone.
if I went with the 0% chance, that boy would have been dead.
It's a 0% chance of survival, not of hurting someone. The chance I could kill someone seemed to be really low. But if I don't do it at all, there's no chance of hurting them.
If you can trust yourself, and that is the issue with us, isn't it?
I mean, maybe I don't. Maybe that's why I go for the bags instead.
I've seen people. It's always the ones who try the hardest, and when they snap,
She kind of frowns, not in an angry way, but in the, is that what you expect from me? Kind of like almost disappointed expression. Vaguely hurt, like, but why would you say that?
Lisa reaches up a hand, pulling some of her hair from her face. Sometimes all we have are bad choices, Renee.
Yeah, that's kind of what Tootie said. And if I practice now, and have people making sure I don't mess up, then when time comes that it's harder, at least I know what I'm doing, right?
Right. Then he leaves to get his own jacket.
And she's a little more fussed at that point, but she'll at least go and find an appropriate seeming place to leave the glass of wine that she, of course, hasn't touched.
Yeah, they all hop on into Delos' car and drive to the nuclear bar. And once they get in, it's very much nuclear themed shape, as we've made several jokes about it at this point. There's people dancing and people milling about, and Tootie will turn and smile at Renee. Pick one.
She's just sitting back, wallflowering as hard as humanly possible, and glancing over all these people. How do you just pick one?
Pick one that appeals to you. The color of their hair, their skin, their eyes, the way they talk. Pick one. Watch them if you need to. Take as long as you like. Talia and I will be over here.
Doesn't it seem weird to pick people based on, I don't know, kind of a dead sense of affection or type?
Memories of what you used to feel. Like a shard right in your face that you can see again. What else are you going to do? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo?
Is a helpless shrug. And if she could blush.
Take your time and watch. Get a feel for it, and then practice. We'll be watching.
Is it weird for this to be really embarrassing?
No, just act like you would. Move from place to place. Buy a drink. Go dance. But watch them. Subtly. Study them.
Yeah.
Okay. Blend in, she'll say, smiling.
I don't blend in.
Blend in your way. Now go on.
Renee is effectively shooed.
She'll turn very lightly over to Dillers, and Dylan was investigating for Frankie. He seemed to have some very interesting ideas.
How did he know?
He had some theories. Apparently, one was that Star was planning to kill him, and that LeChance was going to murder the prince. The previous one, not this one.
I see.
My guess is that he stumbled in on Latore and Apollo. Not Apollo, so you won't say Apollo. Latore and the man. The black man. And ultimately met his end.
And will you report this to the court?
We'll have to see, won't we? Because by the looks of things, Latore is at least implicated.
True.
And there is a picture of them together.
I saw.
Latore was caught with Sabat Leanings. So I'll get the picture off the gangrel. Quite easy. And I also found a chip of metal while she did. I'll bring it to Hermes. He's a renowned metalsmith. He'll test it. And he'll turn Primogen. There is something that you do need to know. There is a rumor that the Tremere have one of us.
Who?
On suspect of anathema. Lily. That seemed to be the implication from Latore, at least. He did have a fascination with her.
Judy,
Mm-hmm.
might I recommend I take the piece of metal to Mr. Silversmith? I have been meaning to discuss his fascination with
Mercy.
Mercy.
You just nod. You just nod. Do you need me to go with you?
No, let's not make it seem like we're investigating him, merely inquiring.
Just nod and slide the little the piece of metal into his hand out of her jacket. Do tell him, though, that I found it. And if he has any further questions, he should talk to me.
I will. You never cease to amaze. How was it?
You'd be surprised what you pick up when everyone's thinking that you're staring at the beautiful man.
I have to ask. How is she?
Who? She'll say, smiling. Just watching Renee with, very, just watching her, very proud look on her face.
It must have been bliss in that club.
I think she was controlling me, like wires. Don't really remember what I could do, but I felt her there. She heard me. I got so scared. The shadows don't seem so real at times.
Puts his hand over hers. We all forget when we're dreaming sometimes.
But she heard me and made sure the child was safe.
Well, a puppet without strings is just a useless bag of wood. He smells like he's extremely proud.
Yeah, she just nestles in and just watches Renee awkwardly. People watch.
For what it's worth, it looks like this is Renee's natural habitat, sitting, way down the bar. She has a token drink that she pretends to sip at periodically and is just watching and wallflowering as hard as you have ever seen someone wallflower. But it seems to suit her fine. It's not like she's especially nervous just sitting there. One gets the impression that yeah, this is her social life in a nutshell, really. Drinking by herself.
Trudy will turn very calmly to Delores. Do you want me to get you one?
Are you hungry?
Nod.
I suppose then, but we would have to be a bit careful around the child.
We'll do what we did with Lily. We'll let her feed. Let her relax. And I have to make sure that she's safe. No interfering. She'll turn and look at Delarose very calmly. But there'll be an edge of a smirk on her face.
Let nature take its course.
Exactly. So she's safe and she comes back. And then we'll get a meal for ourselves. We'll take him home. Just nod, smiling. Watching Renee like, is she gonna do it? Is she gonna do it? Type of stare.
May proves obnoxiously awkward. Everybody sits there for a bit. Like it'll probably be a good stretch of her sitting there, watching people come and go until there comes a point where it's very clear that there are certain people who do much like she does, and just kind of linger on their own, maybe commenting offhand here and there to people that come up to the bar, but essentially are just kind of fixtures there. And sooner or later, she'll migrate closer to one of them, chatting a bit, having found another person who is as awkward as she is. And yeah, we'll finally at least engage someone more than very passingly. So that's promising. There'll be a lot of awkward smiling, a lot of playing with her hair.
Said, do you want to roll for that, Katie?
I don't even know what to roll.
Period subterfuge, if you're going that route.
Oh, Lord. I think that would end in tears.
You could do manipulation subterfuge either. Depends on what you want to roll, really.
Let me look and see what I got going on here.
Can Renee drive a car?
Yes, she can.
Okay, good.
As long as it's an automatic.
This isn't going to be a case like last time, Raz.
Never again.
Never again.
I will opt for manipulation expression.
Do you want me to roll for you?
If you have a more official place to do it, sure.
Okay, I'll screen share when I'm doing this. What's your dice pool?
5.
5. Five successes.
Jesus Christ!
One of those is a 10 as well.
I mean, for what that's worth. No specialties.
Yeah, 5 successes.
Be in your hands, basically.
So yeah, the irony will be that she hits it off well, but seems to have a real time of it when it comes to actually like sealing the deal, as it were. And yeah, the talking goes on far longer than is strictly necessary. Like it's obvious there's a certain point where she's got the person's interest. Good on her. But she'll a couple times start glancing around, perhaps awkwardly trying to find a place, trying to figure out how.
We'll should be looking over at Judy and
Com-
Dolores.
Comically, she strictly avoids it, almost like it's Even if she glances to a point too close to them, she will get kind of flustered because it's kind of weird. It's like having mom and dad watch you the first time you do something really awkward.
Well, then sort of seeing Renee not looking at them, sort of looking around, seeming very flustered, Belarus will,
Oh no.
sort of have faith, ye of little faith. Jeez. You think I'm gonna do cocaine?
Tootie, it's time to do a line.
I mean, yes, he will, but still. He sort of gets up and actually sort of gestures for Tootie to follow him.
She will.
Making his way over to Renee, he's just sort of like, "Yo, Renee, we were thinking of getting out of here. You wanna catch a ride with us?"
Yeah, she'll give a smile and like interlock. Very almost. Renee watched how smooth it is. She just leans against Teddy. Yeah, do you want to ride?
And there's a moment of processing, and obviously a moment of like, oh, you're here, and that's not weird at all. But to be fair,
there's
this
room
plays
for
off.
one more.
Yeah,
He sort of says as he points to the man we're talking to. I mean, there is room in the car for one more.
yeah. And to be fair, her being flustered is, well, would be probably about the same if this was a perfectly mundane situation and a pair of friends bumbled up on her while she was trying to talk someone up. And so she kind of gets awkward for a moment and then gives a crooked kind of little grin. Not devious, just awkward. And extends an invitation because you know what? That is about the safest place she can think of. And with that many successes, has probably no problem coaxing this guy to go with them to
5 successes. He's putty in your hands.
Yeah. His dick is a divining rod, just sort of follows you as a magnet.
So yeah, she will invite the guy to get out of here, and he doesn't even question where. It's just like, why, yes, I would like to follow you into a place that might be more private. Necking in the car? Hell yes.
Giggity. Giggity giggity goo.
Belarus then, leads the way to his car. Folks, the entourage, and let's everybody in.
Your Tootie will just lean up against him, mimicking probably the the double dating thing essentially. So it all seems all perfectly normal.
It does, and thankfully this guy wasn't drinking himself into a stupor, so Renee doesn't have to wrangle someone who is fucking sloppy drunk. Because that wouldn't have been attractive at all. No, she'll get into the back seat with her new friend here.
And unless my knowledge of horny partygoers go, I'd say he'd probably try and get frisky even during the car ride.
Exactly so.
My knowledge has not failed me.
Exactly so. And so yeah, she'll chatter and whatnot, and eventually get moves put on her in the back seat, and we'll probably take the opportunity after redirecting some hands that don't need to be where they're trying to go. And yeah, is there a particular role for actually feeding?
No, you just do. Unless you're below your hunger score, then no, you take how many ever you want.
And she probably only takes a very small amount, or means to only take a very small amount.
How much exactly? 1 or 2?
Probably just like 1.
All right.
Of paranoia. She cuts it short very, very quickly.
Guy's blissed out as all Jesus.
I mean, admittedly, she probably is too, because this tastes so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Delarose looks very pleased as he looks in the back view mirror, and he sort of nudges 2D to look behind her as it happens.
Oh no, Tootie's watching. She'll even once Renee finishes, she'll turn and look over at her. Now lick the wound.
Oh, yeah. Then yeah, while the guy is just blissed the fuck out, we'll do just that. And nest him in up against her, probably again smacking away a hand.
And
She-
Delarose sort of pulls into the driveway.
Into the driveway. She'll actually, at that point, finally take a look around and seem kind of shocked.
She'll Tootie smile at her. Time flies when you're having fun, right?
Yeah, I guess. I didn't think we were actually coming back home.
No, we can't just boot him out of the car. Not in the state he's in.
No,
He's liable to get
wait till he
robbed.
wakes.
Nothing else.
She'll nod. We'll wait till he wakes up and we can send him on his way.
I figured we'd just make it like a bar hopping thing and just kind of let him.
No, that can end badly sometimes.
Oh,
Smile. We can take care of it for you. After all, I did say it would help, so I can make sure he's out of your hair. And you can head home if you like. Or if you want to stay over. Just say smiling.
I mean, shit's kind of crazy, and she kind of glances down to see how with it this guy is.
He's blissed the fuck out. He's not like dazed, but I would imagine he is blissfully out of it.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, she's like, I, like, is it okay to do that? I know we're not supposed to let people know where we are, and there was a guy in my head.
She touched Renee's face. You're safe here with me. Delarose knows where I live. And you're safe with me.
Okay.
Just look at Teddy, smiling.
A note of approval.
Now, why don't you go upstairs and take a shower and rest yourself? I'll make sure he's gone, okay?
Yeah, I guess.
After all, you've had a long day. She'll reach over and touch Renee's hair again, very softly smoothing it.
Yeah, Renee has gotten just a touch more lively. Renee has ever so slightly intensified.
Delarose gets out and gets the door for her yet again.
And it's thankfully a distraction enough that she is busy kind of smiling at the the polite gesture as opposed to being distracted by the guy that she's leaving in the back of the car. So yeah, she'll go ahead and get out once the door is open for her because it'd be rude to just sit there. Though she will kind of glance back and then look over at Tootie. Are you sure? Like, I feel like it's kind of rude, almost.
No.
Like, is
Why
that
would it
not a
be
thing
rude?
I can do in the future? I guess I don't.
If you need help, you always come to me. And it'll be our little secret that you don't have to tell Daisy, you don't have to tell anybody. Consider this an agreement among friends.
You're not going to pull a favor out of it again?
No strings attached. Not with you, not tonight. Not after the night you've had. You give her a very gentle hand squeeze.
And yeah, she just accepts this as rote and finally kind of nods and glances up at the house, which is pretty fucking sizable.
She'll
Where?
turn.
Upper hallway, second door on your left.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's a big shower. I made sure when I bought the place I got a nice shower. They're always handy. She'll give her a smirk.
She again cannot blush, but if she could.
Now make yourself at home. I'll take care of this, and you nestle down and get some sleep. Give her a grin.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, the blissfully ignorant fledgling will proceed to take herself inside, and again takes off her shoes at the door, and yeah, goes in search of this magical bathroom upstairs, and
It's a big
finding.
bathroom. Yeah, it's one of those huge, big fucking deluxe bathrooms with a walk-in shower.
Yep, she temptation to explore aside, she will go no further than that, and probably whatever the first room is that she manages to find that is a place that she could crash. Something that doesn't look lived in. Something that
Yeah,
has
there's
that
about
guest room feel to it.
there's about 2 or 3 guest rooms, so it's kind of just like, oh, so you find a bed easy enough. While Renee goes upstairs, Tootie switches on her Auspex to make sure that Renee is actually upstairs. We'll turn to Delores and just smile and sink her teeth into the guy and take another 2 blood points. And I will roll my deck intelligence medicine, stabilize him very quickly. She whips out some of her things from her bag. And I have to screen share. Manicam, share screen. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, she stabilizes him pretty quickly. She'll lean back and lick the roof of her lips, wiping the blood off her face. And turn and look at Delarus. Get him inside quickly. The basement.
So with precision and habit, he just pulls the man out, begins sort of carrying his very limp, at this point, body into the house. And he moves, as he has many times before. This is very run-of-the-mill at this point.
And Tootie will just smile. All children do come home to mother in the end. We'll walk in and close the door to the house, and yeah, I think that's the perfect place to end that scene. That creepy note.
What better place? So with that, I suppose it is thank you, players, for playing and watchers for watching. We will see you next time on another scene from New Serum. Bye.